Now, among the grounds that are currently leading to the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment is how he has accumulated an amount of 5.7 billion Kenyan shillings wealth in the last 2 years since he became the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, according to the news that we received, there is a certain allegation that Gashagua's company, two of them, 22 of them, 22 of Rigathi Gashagua's company have been used as companies to acquire different government tenders so that the Gachagua couldn't be realized as the person that who is behind those tenders that are being given. Now, the document has raised the document on his impeachment has raised some certain questions among the people of the Republic of Kenya. The countdown for Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's political fate is in the offing. With the much anticipated filing of the highly publicized impeachment motion in Parliament, this is even as the High Court yesterday declined twice to issue interim orders to stop Parliament from processing a motion to impeach Gachagua. Now, expectations are that the notice of special motion for Gachagua's removal could be filed by an MP from Eastern, who has explained in detail 10 grounds to support this move. Now, the document has raised questions on DP committing economic crimes, which is against sections of the Anti-Corruption and Ethics Crimes Act and Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act, respectively. And that's where most of the time ndio maana mnasikia the said 22 companies belonging to Gachagua being a web that has been used by him to acquire different government tenders, and that is how they are accusing him of money laundering from the government to enrich himself. Now, the movers' case against Gachagua indicate that for the past 2 years, the DP has inexplicably amassed a huge property portfolio estimated at 5.7 billion, reportedly from suspected process of corruption and money laundering. The value of the property and wealth that Gachagua has acquired over the last 2 years is incompatible with this non-legitimate legitimate income, legitimate income of about 12 million per year, the motion stated. The motion indicates that Gachagua has acquired the huge wealth and property using his spouse Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua, two sons Kevin Gachagua and Keith Ikuno Gachagua, other close family members and associates as proxies. Now, the DP is accused of using his proxies, especially his two sons, to allegedly acquire massive lauder massively lauder money, conceal process of crime, corruption, and benefit from influence peddling. Now, some 22 companies associated with the DP have been listed in the motion, a majority of which his wife and sons are directors and shareholders. Now, the date of the company's incorporation varies from the year 2001 to year 2003, which at least 4 incorporated between these and last year. Are you getting the point? So, the said 22 companies, most of them, Bibia Gachagua ambaye ni Madam Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua na wanawe wawili Kevin Gachagua and Keith Gachagua are the what? These are the shareholders of the said companies, which means, and not only these, also the family members to Gachagua, they have their companies which have acquired tenders under this regime, and most of these tenders are done through Gachagua going ahead to peddle his influence to make sure that those associated to him and his family acquire these government tenders, which brings up the question of how he really went ahead to acquire the wealthy of a said additional wealthy of 5.2 billion Kenyan shillings in the last said 2 years. Now, the date of the companies, as I said, most of them were registered between the year 201 to 2023, with about two of the companies being registered this year and last year. Now, some of the companies mentioned include Spiritual Limited, Fortis Vis Group Limited, Grad Bypass Apartments Limited, Calvary Creed International Limited, Cristo Kenya Limited, Vipingo Beach Resort, Rigathi Gachagua Foundation, Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua Foundation, Royal Crimson Ventures Limited, and Wamunyoro Investment Limited. According to the motion, in November last year, Cristo Kenya Limited, a proxy company of Gachagua, bought Outspan Hotels situated at Nyeri Municipality Block 1669 from Abadea Safari Hotels for 535 million, which is a company that has become a matter of discussion, mostly because it is said the company was bought by Gashagua's son. But Gachagua, clearing the air about this, he assured the people of Kenya that the hotel was acquired by his son, where he himself said that he left the businesses that he was doing when he went ahead to run for the office of the deputy president. He gave over and handed over the businesses of the family, that includes his wealthy and biashara zake alizipatiana kwa kijana yake mdogo, the last born son to Rigathi Gachagua, Keith Ikunu Gachagua, to be the man to run the businesses for the family. Now, the directors of Cristo Kenya are the sons of Gachagua, namely Kevin Gachagua and Keith Ikunu. Sometimes in August this year, Gachagua publicly admitted that his family had acquired this property, as the motion stated. Now, in November last year, it is stated that Kevin and Keith acquired Treetops Lodge situated in Nyeri, and in August this year, Gachagua publicly admitted that his family had acquired this property. The motion accuses Gachagua and his proxies of allegedly acquiring Olive Gardens Hotel and Queen's Gate served apartments in Nairobi, Vipingo Beach in Kilifi, a parcel of land known as Rogoro Kiamariga, which is I think number 1223 in Madeira East, where he has constructed a helicopter landing facility. Unasikia? Huko ndiko amejenga nini? The airstrip where he and his helicopters will be landing. Other properties that the DP has allegedly acquired are 40 acres of land in Kakuret in Kamburaini, Nyeri County, 80 acres of land in Meru, and a dairy farm in Nyandarua. Tunaelewana? And it seems that Gachagua mostly has been investing or acquiring these properties in the Mount Kenya region. Now, Gachagua used in his office of deputy president to exert influence and convene with unscrupulous Minister of Lands officials to ensure an allotment letter to Wamunyoro Investment Limited, a company he owns, acquired land number 209 12077 and LR 90923 situated in Embakasi, Nairobi. Now, after this company used the fraudulent acquired documents to support a court case at the expense of legitimate owner of the property, that is what the document said. Now, similarly, it is stated the firms associated with the DP and its proxies were involved in last year 3.7 billion irregular procurement of malaria nets, which put the lives of millions of Kenyans at risk. Remember, we did, I think, a documentary trying to review the 3.7 billion scandal which involved the KEMSA, where it is believed that Gashagua's son was at the center of it, where his company had acquired the tender of supplying mosquito nets to the people of the Republic of Kenya at a 3.7 billion. Now, when it was discovered, the president went ahead even to fire the PS of health in the country and do away with the KEMSA board of management. But the process of those corruption cases against the Gachagua company or the Gachagua son was never followed to the latter. Now, that is what the parliament is bringing in and trying to nail Gachagua on that. Now, Gachagua has used office, this is a quotation from the said motion of impeachment. Gachagua has used the office of deputy president to corruptly influence unnecessary and expensive renovation of his official residence in Karen and Mombasa, running into millions of shillings. In essence, Gachagua has chosen personal comfort, extreme luxury, and pomposity at the expense of service delivery to the people of Kenya. Ujinga, you people, I don't know who wrote this motion. Mwache kutubeba kama marasa yenu, matako nyinyi. This is what I don't like, but sometimes this is what triggers us as Kenyans. Mnatupata kwa street. How do you say that Gachagua ameinfluence eti office yake itengenezwe? He prefers laxity. Nyinyi mlikuwa mnaitisha pesa ngapi for the renovation of State House agazenu? These people were asking for over 1 billion Kenyan shillings to renovate the State House, and now they're accusing Gachagua of renovating his office in Karen and Mombasa. Munatuona kama mahagazenu, si ndio? You people stop carrying us like malenge bwana. Although some of us see sense in the motion that you are tabling there, if then these are some of the bases that Gachagua should be out of office, then Ruto should be out of office the day he stepped in, because hii ni ujinga anafanya kila siku. Ruto was among those people that used their influence. Remember what wakienda street, they said that State House shouldn't be renovated to with that amount of money that was said to be used to renovate State House. Kwani Uhuru alikuwa anaishi kwa kibanda ndio muitisha 100 billion ya kurenovate? I think at least Gachagua ana renovate huko mahali ulikuwa unakaa na pesa kidogo kuliko venye una renovate mahali Uhuru anakaa. You know, some of these claims are baseless, but when you come to think of it, this is madness. You know, this article or the basis of the Constitution of Kenya allows for impeachment of the deputy president of Kenya are the same. The basis for impeachment of the deputy president of Kenya are the same to that of the president of Kenya. So if these MPs would be so much inclined to seeing a better Kenya, they would be tabling the first motion as the impeachment of the president of the Republic of Kenya, kwa sababu ni ujinga ambao hakuna mali tunaweza kubaliana with this nonsense if these are your baseless claims. Now the motion has also listed proxy companies that trade with the office he holds. For instance, an event management company is mentioned which has 2 bank accounts. Between January 1st and July 11th, the account reportedly received 100.2 million Kenyan shillings from the office of the deputy president, characterized by the receipt of multiple transfers. Now, a substantial portion of 100.2 million was used for luxurious lodges and unnecessary expenditure for carpets laid down for the DP's function, it states. Mtuambie zile Ruto ametumia kutravel huko nje ni ngapi before you start telling us about these ujinga ambao. In yet another ground listed, the DP is accused of gross misconduct. The document states that Gachagua on June 26, 2024, recklessly and unmindful of the high calling and dignified status of the office of the deputy president and his membership to the National Security Council, both being positions that require exercise of discretion and tampered leadership, especially during moments of national crisis, addressed Kenyans on live television in Mombasa and made a scathing attack on the National Intelligence Service Director, Newden Haji. According to the motion, the attacks against NIS and its Director General constitute gross misconduct and unimpeachable offense to the extent that they are incompatible with the high calling, dignified status and discretion of the office of the deputy president. And I shall quote them. The attacks undermine national security from both internal and external points of view. They are incompatible with the effective discharge of the delicate and sensitive mandate of NIS and the potential, given the circumstances prevailing in the country at the time, to significantly diminish public confidence in the viability of the Kenya state and its ability to protect the lives and properties of its citizens. What did they do? Si waliua watu? Now, on insubordination, the DP is accused of persistently undermining and demeaning and committing insubordination instead of assisting the president in executing the state mandate and opting to run a smear campaign against the presidency for political expenditure. They have a very, 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 very long accusation list against the deputy president. But one that many Kenyans are not buying is the nonsensical thing that they are trying to bring on the table. Now, let's go back to some of these things that they are also purporting. Now, on accusations of bullying, the DP is accused of demonstrating a persistent habit of coercing and bullying state and public officers in the security services in the last 2 years, who is subject to public attacks and humiliation. Whereas Article 147(2) of the Constitution requires the deputy president to perform the functions conferred by the Constitution and any other functions that the president may assign. Gachagua is openly sabotaging the state's effort in agriculture, including the coffee, tea, sugar, and milk sectors, which he was guided to manage. Upumbavu mwingi. Now, Gachagua is accused of convening with cartels in the tea sector to block the Kenya Tea Development Authority from implementing guaranteed minimum returns that would benefit smallholder tea farmers. Gachagua has influenced his family members, allies, associates, and proxies to take control of the local cooperative society in Madeira, which they are financially amortgaging. Now, on accusations of bullying, the DP is accused of demonstrating persistent habit of coercing and bullying state and public officials in the security services in the last 2 years, who is subject to public attacks and humiliation. He also summons staff working in ministries and state institutions, especially procurement officers, and instruct them to direct the procurement of goods and services in a specific manner. For example, he bullied Kenya Medical Supplies Agency official to award a tender for the supply of mosquito nets to Crystal Limited, its proxy company. Crystal Limited then submitted a fake bid board with the sole intention of fraudulently acquiring public property. At Kenya Revenue Authority, he has significantly bullied many innocent employees, the motion state. Now, in the presidency, Gachagua is accused of identifying public officers who he thinks stand in his way of creating dominance within government and political kingpinship as severely threatened, intimidated, and harassed them. Now, in the preceding part of the motion and the evidence annexed thereto, I have outlined 2 grounds for the removal of the office by impeachment of Gachagua. Each ground of impeachment contains sufficient particulars and evidence to prove that Gachagua has grossly violated the Constitution and other national laws throughout the last 2 years, said the MP. Huyu MP, si wange wewe Kimani Ichung'wah mungefanya hiyo kitu, you should be the one that would have tabled that motion. Ndio tukufunze Kenya si ya Kamodho. Wadau, ni hayo tu kwa sasa. See you in our next video. Hii ni Celeb Corner KE. But what do you think about the accusation of the 22 companies related to Gachagua and the family? Comment zako hapo.